From sleeping on the floor to taping your mouth, here are the 16 best ways to improve your sleep tonight. Starting with darkening your room, which will go into sleep like a baby tier. Because the darker your room is, the more melatonin your body will secrete. And melatonin is the hormone that helps you fall asleep and makes you tired. So when you're in a bright environment the whole day, then your body doesn't secrete enough melatonin, and in the evening you will not be tired. Next, we have caffeine, which I'm also gonna put into sleep like a baby. Because caffeine in itself is poisonous for you, and caffeine increases your cortisol levels, which are your stress hormones, and it takes a very long time for caffeine to be digested by the body. So when you, for example, drink a coffee at 4 p.m., then you will still have a large amount of the caffeine in your system at night, and caffeine blocks the secretion of melatonin so that you can't sleep. Next, we have making your room cooler, which I'm gonna put into good. The best temperature for sleeping scientifically seems to be 18.3 degrees Celsius. But even if your room is a little warmer, then you can just take off clothes, or you could stick your leg out of your blanket to make your body cool off. But for example, if you have a room that is really hot and you have an opportunity to make it cooler, then this is significantly gonna improve your sleep. Next up, we have blue light blocker glasses, which I'm gonna put into mid. They do seem to work for some people, but for others they don't. And I think if you have a pair, then it's probably not a bad idea to wear them. But for me personally, I don't really think that they do much, and that's why I'll put them in the middle. For some they help, for some they don't. Next up, we have smoking weed, which is terrible for your sleep. Because THC, the main component of weed, stops you from entering deep sleep, which is the sleep that you need in order to regenerate your body and build testosterone and so on. And that's why smoking weed, if you really want to get good sleep, is a terrible idea. Next up, we have a white noise machine, which I'm also gonna put into mid. If you don't know, a white noise machine makes a sound that basically sounds like this. And again, I've heard that it helps many people. I myself have a white noise machine, but it doesn't really do anything for me. But I'm not gonna not regard the people that it actually does help. So yeah, I'm gonna put it into mid tier. Next, we have reading before sleeping, which I'm gonna put into good. Because I think the more you read before you sleep, especially if it's some, more or less boring book, then it can help you fall asleep quite well. I think reading is a very good way to fall asleep. It doesn't necessarily help you when actually sleeping, so it doesn't improve the quality of sleep, but it can definitely improve the time it takes you to fall asleep. Next, we have taping your mouth, which I'm gonna put into sleep like a baby tier, simply because many people nowadays are mouth breathers, and taping your mouth shut at night completely stops that. And also, taping your mouth completely gets rid of any snoring, any sleep apnea, and dry mouth in the morning. And it also improves the sleep quality that you have and the amount of time you spend in deep sleep and REM sleep a lot. And that's why it is rightfully in this tier. Next, we have getting sunlight, which will also go into sleep like a baby tier, because you need enough vitamin D during the day for your body to function and to produce enough melatonin. And especially if you get the early morning sunlight, then your circadian rhythm will be reset and the secretion of melatonin will happen at a more natural time, and you will be more tired in the evening, which will lead to better sleep. Next, we have going to sleep and getting up at the same time every day, which I will put into good tier. Especially in the evening, if you go to sleep at the same time every evening, then your body will be naturally inclined at that time to be tired and to secrete a lot of melatonin, and it will just become a habit to get tired at some time, and that makes it very easy to fall asleep then. And it's also a lot easier to get out of bed in the morning if you do so at the same time every day. And that's why this is pretty good advice. It's not something that is improve your sleep immensely, but it's definitely something that makes falling asleep and getting up in the morning a lot more easy. Next, we have a good diet, especially a diet that is high in magnesium. So basically a lot of animal foods like red meat and eggs and milk and so on, that will significantly improve your sleep because you need magnesium to get deep sleep, which again helps you build more testosterone, helps you recover your body more. And deep sleep is one of the most important phases of your sleep, and having a poor diet would significantly make your sleep worse. Also, if you eat a lot of processed food or a lot of foods with chemicals in it, then that might actually stress your body a lot, and stress will always stop you from getting good sleep or falling asleep in the first place. So that's why a good diet is crucial. Next up, we have getting rid of any EMFs, electromagnetic fields, in your room, in your sleeping room, which I'm gonna put into good. Ever since I removed the Wi-Fi device from my bedroom, I sleep a lot better. And that has to do with, you know, electromagnetic fields constantly stressing the body, because you have to understand that your whole body works on electricity. But when you suddenly have a lot of electromagnetic inputs that your body is not used to, that is a sensory overload for your body, and that will stress your body. And that's why a Wi-Fi device in your room where you sleep, or for example your phone or some Bluetooth device next to where you sleep, can significantly decrease the quality of sleep that you have. Next up, we have sleeping on the floor, which I'm gonna put into doesn't help. I myself have slept on the floor for 6 months as an experiment, and I can tell you that it doesn't necessarily improve the quality of sleep that you have. The only thing that it does improve is it may actually improve your posture, and it makes your body a little bit more resistant. So for example, hitting your body on the wall or something like that doesn't hurt as much because you're used to a very hard surface. But especially with the hard floors that we have, it doesn't necessarily improve your sleep. At least it didn't do that for me, and I have quite a lot of experience. Like I said, I slept for half a year on the floor. Next, we have sleeping inclined, which I'm gonna put into sleeping like a baby, for the simple reason that most animals in nature sleep inclined somewhat. You know, a lot of animals sleep on trees, or they seek some inclined space that allows their body to circulate the blood a lot better. Whenever you sleep flat, that is the worst position for bodily fluids to circulate, because you don't have density and buoyancy working for you. But when you sleep inclined a bit, then it is a lot more easy for your blood to flow, because your blood already has some sort of momentum that it has. I found that sleeping inclined helps me a lot and gives me a lot better sleep. And it's not even that hard to do. You don't have to buy a special bed or anything. You can just put some books under your bed. I would go for a 15 centimeter or 6-inch incline at the head, and that has worked pretty much perfectly for me. Next, we have sleeping 8 hours, which I'm gonna put into pretty good advice, because I think the average person should probably at least sleep 8 hours. I think most people nowadays are sleep deprived. I think the average that people sleep is like 6 hours and 6.5 hours, and that is the average. There are a lot of people that only sleep like 5 hours, sometimes even 4 hours. And it has been shown in many studies that the less time you sleep, the more likely you are gonna get a heart attack or a stroke and so on. And I think risking that is just not worth it for a little more time awake. And sure, there are people that can get away with 6 or 7 hours of sleep, but those are pretty much outliers. And I think the majority of people would do better with 1 or 2 hours more of sleep that they get every night. Next, we have using earplugs, which I'm gonna put into good. If you live in a very loud environment, then I would probably put it into sleep like a baby, because then you need it. But contrary, if you live in a very silent environment, then I would put it into doesn't help at all. So it really depends on your context. If you, for example, live in a city next to a busy street where there's a lot of, you know, people running around, cars driving, maybe honking, so on, then earplugs can significantly improve your sleep. But if you live in a very rural area and there's not much noise going on, then it won't really help. I hope you got some value from this video. If you did, then please watch another video and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you then. Bye bye, my friend.